What's up, YouTube? Deadjar here, bringing a video today. Today, I want to go over the deck I played for my World Championship celebration. I did not get the mat, as you guys could see, otherwise I'd be using it. I actually fell just short getting second place. I think is pretty good since I've never actually played Pure Sky Striker, which is what I really played. I played it for one day. I played it for one tournament. The night before, so the day before I played it in one tournament and I actually got first place with it, and then I went to the world celebration and I got second place. I just kind of in the finals I played against Goki and I just kind of bricked. I actually don't think the Goki match is that good. I mean, that hard of a matchup. They can do things, but if you're going first, you can put in enough interruptions, and then we actually play enough hand traps that going second isn't that bad against them. So I think I did really well. Learning the deck as I was going was a lot of fun. I literally made it the day of that tournament, since we decided to do it World's Bandless as well. But obviously I did get this cool deck divider. I'm actually more of a fan of the deck divider than the mat. I probably would have just sold the mat if I got it. I'm not a big fan of that mat. But anyway, that's it. First off, before we get into it though, I'd love to thank you guys. I hit 600 subs. I think we're like 603 now. That's just honestly amazing. As we're getting closer to this number, that's like almost 1,000. I'm getting really excited. Regionals coming up this weekend. I will not be playing Pure there, but that's neither here nor there. I'll definitely have a video about that later. So we'll kind of get into this deck profile, and there is quite a few changes I would like to do to this deck. Obviously, because now we're going to be back into the normal ban list, but on top of that, there would be stuff I would change for the tournament just to get a little bit more consistency. So first we'll just start with our hand traps. So I played 3 Droll and Lockbird. So in the OCG, they're playing Max C at 3. So this is like very OCG inspired since they've been playing with 1 Hornet drones for a little bit. I kind of looked to them to see what were they playing. So they were playing Max C. I thought this was just an easy swap, put in 3 Droll for Maxis, because they essentially both kind of end turns. Though you can push through Maxi, you can't really push through Droll, so I figured this would be a good way to go about it. And this card was really good all day. It just, it ends turns. I would side it out against some things, but it's just super good. And then play 2 Ash Blossom. Obviously, we only played 2 because for this tournament it was semi-limited. And then we played 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. The reason being is I figured there'd be, even if there wasn't a lot of Gokis at my locals, the people who who are going to be at the top tables will have Gokis, and these did come in clutch, being able to hit Firewall or Isolde. Usually I would wait it for the Firewall. I think it's just better to wait for the Firewall in that case. That's just my opinion. Anyway, I think it's better to wait for the Firewall. I'm sure they can still go off a little bit, but you really stop their combos quite a bit. And then we play 3 Ray. Ray is really good. I didn't realize how good she is. Being able to you honestly kind of bank on one of your Sky Striker Link monster to be destroyed or just leave the field on your opponent's turn, because you can use her effect to Link summon with her. So you can tribute this card quick effect, and special summon one from the extra deck, and you can make Shizuku, and Shizuku will get its effect at end phase because Shizuku just states the turn it was special summon, not the turn, and not your end phase. It says the end phase. So the turn it was special summon, you can search with your Shizuku. Super good. You can also set with multi-roll. So that's really good. Really underestimated the power of this deck, actually. Now, we'll move on to spells. That's all we're playing for monsters. We'll move on to spells. I'm not even sure how many spells I'm playing. It's a good majority of the deck, obviously. But we play 3 Engage. Now, I do want to talk about this card just a little bit, because I've only ever played Engage as an engine card, and I've always realized it's really good. But I haven't really, realized its full potential until I played it in Pure, because you're always drawing, almost always getting an extra draw, outside of turn 1, and you do grind. This deck does grind no matter what. That's the one other thing. You have a tough matchup that's the other thing about against Goki, because you're grinding, but and they can come back at any time. But this card is just so good at at 3. In this deck, it's just amazing. You can quite often just get free advantage off of this, and that's what this deck plays, just advantage. So it doesn't really matter as much about what it's doing. It's just about playing advantage and disrupting your opponent, and then eventually making a Kagari that's very very large beater. Then I played 2 Area Zero, and this card's like pretty underwhelming. I did want to play 2 copies of it because it does help you later on in game. It's one of the ones that it doesn't actually require for you to control no main deck monsters. So, I mean, no monsters in the main zone. So, this is actually really good because this helped me make Borreload a few times by being able to use multi-roll to send it. And like just knowing your chain links in this deck is very important, since you can chain your stuff to activate it so they meet the activation requirement of controlling no main monster zones. You can chain and actually quite easily make stuff. I made a Borreload. I made Borreload a couple times in the deck actually today because of this card every time, because I can special summon a Ray from my deck. It's just super good. Then I played 2 Widowmaker. I only had access to 2 copies of Widowmaker, and I don't think I actually would have played a third. I think like this was just fine at 2. I don't really think it was really necessary. You can search it, super easy to search, and you don't ever feel bad off of searching this off of Engage. It's just like whatever. And then the combo with multi-roll and Shizuku to be able to set it when you search it at end phase is super good too. So yeah. And then this is like kind of a weird one I played 2 of. I did play 2 Eagle Booster. This is Forbidden Lands. If you guys didn't know, pretty much just for your extra deck monster, because you have to control no monsters in your main monster zones. But this card is really good, and the reason I played 2 was just simply because I felt like I was going to see a decent amount of Altergeists, which really disrupt your plays with their trap cards. So if you can make your stuff unaffected by them for the turn, this is super good. And then, so Eagle Booster is super, super strong. And then also I knew people would be playing more Ghost Ogres. And as much as people want to say Ghost Ogre doesn't really hurt you because of Ray, I would definitely rather just save my Ray. You can only special summon each one once per turn, so if they Ghost Ogre it kind of really sucks. So yeah, this card was just actually pretty good, and then this is just an easy side out if I just don't really need it there. So that's why I played 2 Eagle Booster. And then 2 multi-roll. I guess the biggest change is if I would have changed anything, I'd probably play 3 multi-roll and 1 Eagle Booster. I think multi-roll is really good. This card is just actually like really underrated, I think. I mean, obviously being able to not have a response to your activation of spells is super strong, but I never really want to search this off Engage. That was the one thing I had a problem with. I don't really want to search Engage off of Engage, just due to the fact that I feel like it's a waste. I feel like you can get other things, so I'd play 3 so I can see if I can open it a little bit more instead of having to search it. But in the grind game, a lot of times you end up searching this off of Shizuku because. Or, I mean, you can search this with Engage. Like, I don't have much experience with the deck, so I still have a lot to learn about it. I never really felt like searching this off Engage was good. But a lot of times it is, just due to the fact that you can set stuff but it's banished when it leaves at the end phase, which is powerful, but I really hate losing spells being banished, so I don't know. It's just, like, kind of iffy for me. And then we'll get into all our 1-ofs. 1 Jamming Waves, 1 Afterburners, 1 Hornet Drones, and 1 Shark Cannon. This card is like really underrated. This card is actually really good. Being able to Monster Reborn something out of your opponent's graveyard is pretty strong. But just like all the stuff that like targets in graveyard and stuff like that, really this helps with being able to have like a DD Crow that you can main deck access, being able to do this. This is one of the ones I'd like to do. I guess like Infernoids, this card was really good for me because at end phase, you can, if you have a multi-roll out, you can search this with Shizuku, because you only run 1 copy, so you're always going to be able to search this with Shizuku at some point in the game, unless you've already used it from your deck. So you can, at the end phase, still chain it after you search it, You chain it, you banish one of their things that they were going to need for that turn, and then multi-roll effects goes off. You can set it from graveyard, and you get another activation of it. So it's really good. Hornet drones, actually, just like you mostly prefer to go to use your Ray. So this like is like meh. Like this being at 1 for this deck is like meh. I don't really care as much. It just it hurts the link summoning a little bit. Being able to go into higher link monsters. But yeah. Then we have Afterburners. This card's really good. I don't really have much to say about it. And then Jamming Waves. This card's like really good, but it's like mostly good just to hit your own spells. To make 3 spells in the graveyard and then get its second effect. It doesn't check till resolution, so you can still destroy. You destroy your spell, and then it checks after the resolution of this. And then you can destroy a monster if you have 3 spells after destroying your 1 spell. So very, very, very powerful card. That would be it for the Sky Striker spells. And then we'll get into the generic spells. 3 Called by the Grave. I just feel like this card is actually really good defensively. Like, if you're going first and you see this and you set it, really good even against, like, Goki. Being able to hit their Suprex the first time they stop stuff. Somebody, like, made like, Isolde. I went, like, I had, like, Impermanence and Called by the Grave. They made Isolde with, like, Junk Forward or, and Suprex. And I literally Impermanenced and then Chain Called by the Grave to hit the Suprex. And they ended, and I just won from there. So this card's like really good defensively, actually, as well as offensively, stopping other people's hand traps. Very good. Shared Ride. I did main deck 3 of these. These are super good. I know this deck profile is being long because I'm explaining everything, but yeah, Shared Ride, self-explanatory there. Twin Twisters, this was like an iffy thing here, but I think being able to get rid of my opponent's back roll and not having to play through it is super good. I was scared of Altergeist as well. It's against Goki, it's like but I did like it no matter what. Being able to actually hit your own Area 0 with this is really good too. And then just setting up more spell cards in the graveyard, I just felt it was like really beneficial. Just being able to discard a spell. To put that's at least 2 right there, and the likelihood of you having another one in there already is very good. And then Mind Control. I did main deck this. This card was like really good just to bait out negates. Like just people like that's literally the main thing of it is people would have to like they would put a negate on board and then I just target the monster they're negating. That they would negate with, and then they just have to negate this, and then it's a spell engrave. So I think that's like its best utility. Plus, sometimes being able to make like a Borlo Dragon because of this card is super strong too. Yeah. And then we played 1 Terraforming for the Area 0. Self-explanatory. Instead of playing 3 Area 0, 1 Terraforming, just due to the fact that you put an extra spell engrave. Then I main decked the Metal Fuse Fusion. I'm not playing any Foolish Burial Goods, so I did play. I still played this, and hopefully I saw it. I just felt like being able to use Area 0 or multi-roll to get another draw and put this back in the deck is super strong. And then I played 1 Rhoda, Search Array. And then the last 2 cards I played were 2 Traps, and they were Infinite Impermanence. This card's like so good. If like I did play against Pendulums, and being able to put this in like the one Pendulum zone, negate their monster effect, like a Harmonizing Magician or anything that comes out that you don't really want to deal with. Negate the monster effect, and then any effect in that Pendulum zone is also negated. Super strong. So that's the main deck at 40. Whew, it took a while to explain. Now we'll go into the extra deck first. So 3 Kagari. You have to play 3. This deck grinds, and you need all 3. I wish I could play 5. 3 Shizuku. Same reasoning here. Ending on this is amazing. This card is very, very good for Pure. And then we played 1 Linkuriboh. This card comes in clutch. Gets rid of some tokens and stuff like that. Space Insulator. You wouldn't need this if we had Hayate, but we couldn't use Hayate in this format, so I had to play the Space Insulator, and it did help me make like Borload pretty much. It's like the only good one I made. Then we play a small Nightmare package of the 3, so 1 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, 1 Unicorn. I think Unicorn is like the best one there. Phoenix is like next. I don't think I even made this. I do think that they're just toolboxes, so you just need to play them. And then we played three rank 4s, we made Borlo Dragon, Bomber, and Firewall. Firewall is really just like a Cherries target, along with Isolde here. Borlo and Topologic were really good, and I think these were the best ones to choose. Honestly, being able to just activate this with Hornet Drones, so most times you make this, you're going to have the Hornet Drones, and then you can activate it at any time. Super, super strong. Just a great card overall. Really, really defensive. And then Borload is just kind of self-explanatory. I'd probably cut the Firewall. And I'd probably cut the Firewall for Boar Sword going into the format and keep both of these. I do think these are both strong to play. So, and then side deck, we'll get into here. I'm going to explain these choices. Sorry for this deck profile for being so long. But I just really want to talk about why I'm playing things. There's been some mix-ups when I don't explain things too good. People say, hey, this is really bad, so don't do this. But yeah, I'm just explaining my deck choices and how they worked for me here. So I played 2 Gameciel. I guess against the Pendulum board, you can place Raw Sphere Mode, and it doubles, right? It doubles there for that, but like I'd just rather give them a Gameciel because there are other monsters I don't really care about too much, and then I'm not wasting my normal summon. Though this deck doesn't really require its normal summon all too much to do anything, it's just like better to do that. So I side these in. Also against Pier, when you want to go on your turn, you can tribute their Ray. I'm not the Ray. There's their monster, and then they can you tribute their monster. Sure, they can like resolve Ray. I think they can. But the thing is, like, they can't activate any of their other spells. Sorry, I just kind of blanked there. They can't activate any of their spells because now they control main monster. And this is just big enough to attack over yourself most of the time, so they can't just crash and like die. So you give them this, and they're just stuck with this on board unless they want to make a link monster like Space Insulator. But then that even creates problems because now they have a down arrow monster, but they're gonna have to make a thing, make a link monster there, and they'll have the zone occupied again, so they can't use their stuff. So basically, this just locks down their stuff. So very good there. And then we played 3 of the Sphere Mode. For Goki, you need to play these for Goki. You don't want to lose to a National Link board because, you know, that's unlucky. Two Cherries. I really just wish I would have played this at 3. I literally only had access to 2, so that's why I was playing 2. I would have played 3 if I could have. But, yeah, that's all I really have to say. And then the third Ghost Ogre. For Gokis again, I want to side in the third Ghost Ogre. I think this is like really good when you can hit Isolde when she uses her second effect, or hitting Firewall, obviously. Then we played the third Twin Twisters, and yeah, I played the third Twin Twisters. This card just really good against Altergeist and just a few other rogue decks as well. And then we played a bunch of hand traps. Not a hand traps. We played a bunch of physical traps. So we played 2 strike, 1 judgment, and 1 warning. People may ask, why were you siding these and not main decking these? I wasn't main decking them mostly due to the fact that if I didn't win die roll, I really needed to see enough pieces where I'm gonna combo off and not play slow. That's where Sky Strikers they're already slow because they have to grind out and they don't put anything big on board and they don't do a lot of disruption first turn. So I didn't really want to do draw these and just be making the deck even slower if I was stuck going second. So anytime I was going first, these cards went in. And they were really good. And then also people may say, well, the time rules make them bad. For this tournament, the time rules were the old time rules, so you still get turns after, so making these not as bad. So I decided to play them, and they were really good. When I saw them, they just helped me win games very easily. But yeah, that's kind of the reasoning behind them. Very good. And then the last 2 traps, I played 2 Mind Crush. this card is just really good. Like, the only problem I have with it is, like, most of the time you want to set stuff, and then you don't really, most time you want to set, like, most of your cards, and then you don't have a card in hand. But as long as you're playing the deck right, you make Shizuku, and you don't just, like negatively call something. If you make Shizuku, you're gonna have a card in hand, so this is live. You have to have a card in hand to enable to activate this, because you have to meet the discard cost if you don't call it right. Obviously, if you call it right, then it's fine. But anyway, guys, that's all I really have to say. That was my pure Sky Striker deck profile. Definitely a lot of things I would change if I was going to be playing it in a main event. I don't really plan to. I don't think it's the best deck for this regional since we're playing old list. Anyway, guys, please comment, like, subscribe. It means a lot to me. Enjoying the Brick Brigade. Alright, well, I'll talk to you later. See ya.